Welcome to Seaview in North Belfast for live international football as Northern Ireland host Hungary in the Uefa Women's Nations League. It's the second game of a double-header. The two sides face one another. 4 days to go. It was heartbreak for Northern Ireland. A late Hungarian goal secured a 3-2 victory for tonight's visitors. This could be a pivotal game in the context of the group. We pause now for the anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the Hungary national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Northern Ireland.
Albania, bottom of the group at the moment with just 1 point. Northern Ireland with 3. Tonight's opponents Hungary with 4, and then the Republic of Ireland had 9 points from their 3 games. But we await the decision to see what UEFA decide, and that could also have a big bearing in the group overall.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what the decision UEFA make from that game. As you say, Albania are currently bottom of the group, but obviously they were on 1 point when the game was postponed, so I'm not sure what UEFA will make of that, but it just makes it even more important now for Northern Ireland.
What do you make of the changes?
Yeah, it's exciting to see, and it shows the strength and depth that we have in the squad, that you can make so many changes, and I don't think it'll impact the game. Obviously there's one enforced change in Rebecca Holloway, but apart from that, everybody else is fit and available, so just shows Tanya's still probably trying to figure out the strengths of the players and getting another look at people here tonight. Rebecca
Holloway suspended after a booking in Hungary on Friday night, and I suppose double headers are strange things in international football. They come in within a 4-day spell. Will Tanya Oxtoby perhaps have had a team set for this game and work backwards, or do you feel that she's very much someone who takes one match at a time?
Yeah, I think she definitely takes one match at a time, and from what I've heard, she's very big into how players train, and that determines whether you get a place in the team or not. So that's probably why there's been some changes in the team tonight.
Typified by Danielle Maxwell starting this game. She wasn't in the initial squad, but she played a starring role on Friday night and really impressed the manager, so she's back in the lineup once again, as is Cara Hamilton, who scored with her first touch on Friday. But you can see Hungary straight away pushing high up the pitch. It was horrible in terms of the pitch conditions for that game in Győr.
Yeah, the conditions looked far from ideal, but it's the same conditions for both teams, and obviously completely different conditions here tonight, so it'll be interesting to see whether that has an impact on the game here.
Corner kick given away. I think Cara Hamilton was attempting just to guide the ball out of play, and unfortunately hit her standing leg, so it's an early opportunity for the visitors here from this set piece. Plenty forward. 8 or 9 bodies huddled around the goalkeeper, Shannon Turner. So congested in that 6-yard box, and it's dropped right into that area. Nestles in the side netting, and the rain's starting to come down once more here, but I suppose it's going to be a tricky night for goalkeepers in a situation like that.
Yeah, it looks on that occasion like Hungary have identified that they're playing with the wind in this half, and looking to get bodies in and around the goalkeeper and see if they can get some success off that.
Yeah, it was so busy in that area around the 6-yard box. Caldwell beaten in the air. It's picked up by Hamilton. She loses out. McGill just about gets her toe to it. Now it's Maxwell who tries to move it quickly to Bell, but it's broken up, and it's Cesar. Just makes things tick for the Hungarian side. Cross to Vita, the youngest member of the starting lineup. She's played in every single game so far in the group, Vita. Sox didn't have too much to do on Friday night, but then of course had to pick the ball out of her own net twice. The Cara Hamilton header followed by that Simone McGill penalty kick. Back to goal as it's shifted from right to left. A couple of nice touches from the visitors in the early stages. That throw-in is going to go to Hungary.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Cara Hamilton occupying the fullback role, obviously based off where she's playing for her club, Lewis, at the moment. It wouldn't have been a natural position for Cara to take up previously, but it just shows her versatility.
Played against the Republic of Ireland in that position, but as you say, Julie, Cara Hamilton predominantly used as a winger throughout her time in the international setup. And is that just a case of trying to utilise her pace and trying to use the strength she has on the right hand side, because there are options there in the likes of Rebecca McKenna also?
Absolutely, and I think Rebecca McKenna has done really well in that position over the last few years, but Cara is flying at the moment for her club and feeling really confident, so with the performance that Danielle Maxwell had on Friday night, I suppose it's a good way to get Cara into the team.
Did you like playing double headers when you know what you're expecting?
Yeah, I suppose it's some familiarity, and you're not worrying about different opponents. You can focus on obviously your last performance and the players you were playing against, and take the positives and the things that you can build on after that.
It's very unusual though for a manager to stick with the same 11. What does that say about this Hungarian setup?
Yeah, I suppose you don't change a winning team, and the manager. I was fortunate enough to meet her in June at a Uefa workshop, and it just shows that she was happy with the team that she had, and didn't want to make any changes.
Yeah, it's a Ferencváros contingent amongst the Hungarian squad, but a lot of them play in the likes of Sweden or Germany also.
Yeah, it probably helps having the German connection there to get them some moves across to Germany as well.
Vida. Swept across to one of the two Nemes at the back. It's Hannah who scored that all-important winner. Here's Simone McGill, her first real opportunity. Just had a little glance across to see what support she had. Doesn't work out this time though. Comes backwards to Papai. Zeller. Demi Vance quickly across to her. Zeller was a real star performer on Friday. Everything good seemed to come through her.
Yeah, I thought she was a real danger in the game, especially in the first 15-20 minute period. We seemed to struggle to deal with her, but Tanya made a couple of changes, and I felt we dealt slightly better with her then after that.
And there's an example of the breeze working very much against Shannon Turner. Laura Rafferty doesn't head it back to the goalkeeper, and this is an early opportunity. It looked like there was going to be an early opportunity. Clipped in by the captain, Cesar again. Fenny Vesey nods it forward. Sarah McFadden under just about everything. Not too sure if she may well have picked up a little bit of a knock in that last effort, but she seems to be walking it off now. Northern Ireland without the ball quite a bit in these early stages, lifted over the top, and Shannon Turner was off her line quickly.
Both teams seem to be quite narrow at the moment, in attack and out of possession as well, so there's space out in the wide areas for both teams to exploit.
Are Northern Ireland sitting very deep at times, or is it a case of Hungary pushing up?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. As you say, Hungary have dominated the ball for good parts of the game so far, and that kind of forces Northern Ireland back a bit, and the fact that they're playing against the wind probably doesn't help with that either.
And you can see the little bit of pressure then from Simone McGill when Hungary were on the ball. Northern Ireland started to put a bit of a press on. Caldwell can't get there. It's hooked forward by Fenny Vesey, and McCarron then finds Megan Bell. Hamilton. Northern Ireland moving it quickly across to Maxwell. Nemeth seemed very comfortable in possession. The centre half duo of Nemeth and Kovac.
It's the commentator's curse there.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry, it'll happen countless times tonight. Here is Zeller. Might have a go from distance. Forced it a little bit. Cap number 75. 29 goals as well for Zeller during that time, who plays her domestic football in Germany. Worked across to Nemeth. Likes to bring the ball out from the back. Now you can see the little bit of pressure coming from Maxwell. Has to be moved quickly across via Cesar to Kovac. Vida's hugging this near sideline. Just cuts inside and tries to prod it forward. All very congested again. Caldwell though emerges with it. Now it's Bell. Northern Ireland can't move it quickly though. It's Cesar is well positioned. Cross to the far side, 2 in the middle. In the red of Hungary. Back to Cesar. Vida wants it. She's made a little run this near side. Instead, it's flicked in towards Papai. And that duo up top really know where the goal is, giving their form at both underage and senior level. McGill looked to be pulled back, but the referee doesn't give it, and it's now Vance who pushes forward. Lovely little bit of skill for Demi Vance. Just waited to find Wade. Flag stays down. 3 or 4 making their way into the middle. Wade might be tempted to go one-on-one. First corner kick of the game for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, good link-up play from Simone McGill with Demi Vance there, and seeing the outlet of Lauren Wade able to use her pace down the left side.
Lauren Wade scored the winner here, of course, last month on her 50th cap. A milestone moment for her. Set pieces could be crucial this evening. Rafferty took a flick on, and then it was forward by Rafferty in the end. Danger still not away. Not the most convincing bit of defending from Hungary's point of view, but then at the other end they win it back and they could be in. Flag stays down. 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper. Super stop from Turner.
Excellent.
It was Papai who had so much time and space, but Turner stood tall.
Yeah, I think the ball in the air there caused a bit of indecision from Cara Hamilton, and as you say, superb save from Shannon Turner to stop the ball going in the back of the net.
There's a little ricochet before it made its way to Sarah McFadden, but it was the speed of the attack, and Papai looked so confident when she got onto the ball, but Turner did really well one-on-one. Fine stop from the Wolves goalkeeper. It's kept it scoreless. Playing it again towards that near post off the head of Vance, and it's going to drift over the end line for another corner on this near side. It's a real confidence boost as well for Shannon Turner.
Absolutely, it's good for her to get a good save early in the game, and as you say, it'll build her with confidence.
Endured that difficult night on Friday night. In horrible conditions out there, swirling breeze. Here it comes again. Once more, it's Caldwell who flicks it out. I think you mentioned early on, Julie, Hungary clearly trying to use the conditions to their benefit, because there must now be 10 or 12 players huddled around in that 6-yard box. You can see the referee just staring intently in that area to make sure there's nothing happening that shouldn't be. Again, it's a near post off the head of Vance this time. Nobody attacks it. Lifted in again. Hook goalwards and off the line. I think it was Rafferty who got there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's an area in the women's game that can be exploited a little bit more, obviously because of the height differences of the goalkeeper compared to the men's game.
Northern Ireland very much under pressure over the last couple of minutes. It's all come after that promising attack, and a decent opportunity for Sarah McFadden, it has to be said, but since then Hungary have just turned the screw. Here's Vida. Furthest forward we've seen her so far this evening, charging on, showing good strength as well. Cesar, so reassuring in possession. Nemeth. McFadden gets it clear. Anywhere will do, and you can see also McFadden trying to push the Northern Ireland players further up the pitch there. Very much defending one-way traffic at the moment, but this should give them a little bit of an opportunity just to settle.
Yeah, I think with the amount of possession that Hungary have, as you said earlier, Thomas, Northern Ireland just keep getting forced deeper and deeper, and it's good to see Sarah McFadden trying to get the team pushed higher up the pitch.
So much is made about Northern Ireland's record here. You have to go all the way back to 2019 for their last competitive defeat. That was the 6-0 game against Norway. How things changed after that. Brilliant qualification process, going to the Euros, and The lady alongside me, of course, scoring that all-important historic goal that will be remembered for years to come. McCarran tried to link up with Simone McGill. Slightly different role being played by Chloe McCarran this evening. We played very deep at times over the past couple of years. Looks to be a little bit further out the pitch tonight.
Yeah, they seem to be holding the that 4-1-4-1 formation out of possession, and Chloe seems to be occupying sort of the one position at the moment in there.
Could be another chance. It was Zabo initially, takes a deflection off Rafferty. Still not away, forced goalwards again. It was an acrobatic effort by Zeller. And the home team have to be careful here because they're welcoming Hungary on at times.
Yeah, like you can see from Lauren Wade end up being the one back towards the 6-yard box trying to defend that there. So as you say, we're getting quite deep.
Almost a quarter of an hour played. Bell. Chance now for Maxwell. Can McGill get there? Maxwell was clattered as she forced it forward. I think she's actually saying to the referee, surely there was no advantage there just before the ball made its way through. Referee, though, felt that it was a good enough opportunity for McGill to get there. Turner, and you can see the ball just hanging in the air as she tried to play it forward. Vance, and away by Turner again. McGill just hanging in the shoulder, has two defenders for company.
Turner did well to deal with that ball there and get it up the pitch.
Don't think she'll thank Demi Vance for that back pass.
Definitely not.
Bell. McCarran. Back to Bell. The Hungarian player did go to ground. Bell is saying that she was caught. It's pretty much in the same position that we saw the incident involving Maxwell a few moments earlier. Referee was very close to the incident and felt there wasn't sufficient contact.
Yeah, she seems to be letting quite a few of those go at the moment, the referee.
Tanya Oxby has used 21 players so far in this campaign, says that Northern Ireland are nowhere near where they want to be, but feels that they are making progress. Vida will take the throw-in. Straight to Maxwell. Northern Ireland really looking to exploit Hungary in the counter-attack. Cesar, nicely worked across to Fenny Vesey, and it's over now on the far side, and Zabo played in quickly and cut out by Sarah McFadden. Hamilton. This is when she's at her best, powering forward. Just checks back and waits for support. Nobody really seeming to be an option, and you can see her frustration pointing that out.
Yeah, everybody seemed to be trying to run forward, and there was no deeper option for her to come back through there.
Had to try and do it herself. Here's Kovac. Vida. Again, it's down that right-hand side. Good defending, though, from Lauren Wade. Just forced Vida as far as possible. Throw in, taken quickly. Cross doesn't reach its intended target, and Demi Vance took a little bit of a risk in trying to clear it, but does manage to win the throw-in. There's Zeller. Cutting it back, but Chloe McCarran well positioned. That's probably where it's the point I was making, where we're used to seeing it quite a bit. A real benefit for a backline to have Chloe McCarran sitting just in front of it. Yeah,
she reads the game really, really well, and you can see that from her position in there. She's in the perfect place to stop that cutback.
The experienced Sox hasn't had too much to do. Over 100 international caps. Number 103 today, actually. 33 years old now. Here's Vida. Seems to be getting the ball with relative ease in this near side. Zeller. Well, Ireland have to be. Well, I have to be smart in that challenge, and the referee has decided that Zeller was a little bit too forceful in trying to stay in the ball. Good use of the body by Laura Rafferty, and the referee deciding that was a foul on the Southampton defender.
Yeah, good teamwork there from Rafferty and McFadden to usher that one out of play.
And a couple of ironic cheers as a free kick is given.
Yeah, she's starting to give a few now.
Northern Ireland weathered a little bit of a storm. After Seaview weathered a little bit of a storm early on. The conditions were horrible about an hour and a half before kickoff, but they've calmed down, and it's actually pretty nice here in North Belfast now. Here's Lauren Wade, digs out the cross. Just in between a couple of the home players. Now it's Hamilton. Can they keep the pressure on? McFadden. Vance wants it on this near side. McCarran. To Vance. Wade's up ahead. It's a good run being made by Simone McGill, and that was the intended target for Demi Vance. Zabo. Well read by Maxwell. Managed to win possession back. Hamilton. You just feel that Northern Ireland have upped the tempo a little bit in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's good to see the likes of Chloe McCarran getting on the ball and starting to dictate play a little bit.
Bale, what can she make happen? It's a good idea to find Wade. The pass just didn't manage to find his way past Vida, who's been very impressive so far. Zeller to Popeye. Free kick is given this time. It's against Laura Rafferty. Both hands in the back.
Yeah, definitely going to give that in that area of the pitch.
So we've reached the halfway point of this first half. This is Hungary's 11th game so far this year. They've won the majority of them. 5 places above Northern Ireland in the world rankings. They've committed virtually everyone forward here. And it was the outstretched leg of Zeller that got there. I don't think the flag was raised on the near side, and Zeller just managed to find a little bit of space in there. Not the best of connections, but will certainly concern Northern Ireland that a player of that quality was able to have an effort on goal.
Yeah, I'm not sure whose player she was there, but it looked like Sarah McFadden maybe got blocked in the middle of that and allowed Zeller to get a free and to get an effort at goal, and it's definitely something that we'll be looking to tighten up.
Rafferty turned right into trouble. Great footwork though from Papa. He might have a go herself and just opened up momentarily. You can see what she was trying to do, but unable to work the goalkeeper from that difficult angle. I don't think it was her initial intention, but as Demi Vance just edged off her, Papa decided to back herself.
Yeah, I think that was something that was a common trait from Hungary on Friday evening as well. They weren't reluctant to hit shots from distance, especially when they were playing with the wind in the first half, which they are again tonight. And it's something that Shannon and Turner will have to be aware of.
Yeah, Soulé scoring a screamer to level to put Hungary ahead for the second time in the final 10 minutes. Then McGinn's penalty looked to have secured a point as Zabo wins it back. Has support inside, and again that's a little bit of a let off for Northern Ireland. A better pass there and they would have been in real trouble. Zabo with their left foot fires it right at Turner.
Yeah, good hands there from Shannon to keep a hold of that one in these conditions.
Northern Ireland just have to be worried that they can't give Hungary the ball in situations like that one there. Szabo with all that quality in her left foot. Maxwell tried to use her body to shield it. Wins it back though. It's not the first time she's done it so far. Trying to provide that spark. McGill with a little touch. Looking to find Bell. It's those little moments of quality you can see starting to kind of break through from the home side.
Yeah, excellent play by Danielle Maxwell again. You know, coming on from her performance on Friday night, and she's taking that into tonight's game. And you know, good link-up play from Simone McGill, and you know, forcing Hungary into a clearance.
Flag was up on the far side though, so it's going to come to nothing. And it's probably an element of Danielle Maxwell's game that probably doesn't get highlighted enough. That defensive quality.
Yeah, exactly. You know, people know her for her attacking attributes, but you can see the work rate that she has off the ball, the determination to go and get the ball back, and then whenever she does that, she's putting it to good use. She's not just kicking it up the pitch as well. So she's had an excellent season this year for Cliftonville, and definitely carrying it into these two games. Made
her debut 3 years ago against Iceland. Szabo just lets the ball run and actually runs instead for Fenny Vesey. 2 wanted in the middle. Numbers over here. Doesn't quite make its way to its intended target, and then hacked clear by Rafferty. Bale, 3 on 3. If the touch had been a little bit better, Simone McGill could have been away. It's certainly the intention of McGill. She's on the shoulder every single time with the final defender. So Northern Ireland's 4th game of the group. They started with that 3-0 defeat in Dublin by the Republic of Ireland. Then the 1-0 win here against Albania thanks to Lauren Wade's goal, and a 3-2 defeat on Friday away from home against tonight's opponents. It's Popeye twisting and turning. Tackle had to be timed perfectly and was by Rafferty.
Yeah, good advantage played by the referee on that occasion.
What do Northern Ireland need to do now, do you feel?
I think we still need to push higher up the pitch. There are spells where we are pushing higher up, and you can see the sort of the benefits that we're getting from that. But again, when Hungary have the ball, we're dropping deeper and deeper, and you know, they're starting to have pops at goal like they've just done there. Again, you know, that's probably their 3rd or 4th shot from distance, and it comes from us being too deep.
You said that very early on. You mentioned that they weren't afraid to have a go on Friday night. It's followed through here at Seaview as well. That's Fenny Vesey with the effort. Predominantly a sitting midfielder, but Szabo's had a go. Fenny Vesey, so too Popeye and Zeller. Slightly different formation this time for this set piece. You can see the captain making a run towards the back post. There is the captain, Cesar, almost worked out. Clearly a set play, and Cesar acknowledges the ball in.
Yeah, that's obviously one from the training ground, and you know, they got the connection, but Northern Ireland did well to get bodies in the way.
Kovac to Vida, forced to go backwards. Nemeth. Hungary look very bright, look very good on the ball. They've certainly created the better opportunities so far.
Yeah, they're starting to use the width a little bit more in possession as well. Obviously see that they're struggling to get through the middle of Northern Ireland because it's so compact, so they're now starting to try and attack down the wide areas.
Back to Nemeth.
See, Lauren Wade and Danielle Maxwell have had a switch at the moment as well in terms of the wings.
Kovac. Will that yield a little bit more success for the 2 wide players? Maxwell also has to be careful that she doesn't leave Vida in too much space, given how much she likes to push forward. It's a really good ball to find Szabo. Cara Hamilton was just behind before getting her toe to it, and the referee's going to have a word with her. I don't think it's going to be a card at this stage, but
Not really sure that warrants a talking to.
I wonder it was more because I think that's Cara's second or third foul maybe, and referee's just saying that's your last chance.
Yeah, it's important Northern Ireland hold a high line on this free kick. I see Hungary are trying to start inside the box, but we need to stay with the high line.
How difficult is that to do when your instinct is to look at Fenny Vesey and Cesar, for example, who are standing in that offside position right now?
Yeah, the natural instinct is to go in and mark them, especially for a defender, but you need to keep the discipline and stay high and
lift it in. Two players there, and I think they actually got in each other's way. It was an effort on goal by Kai Jan, who's been reasonably quiet so far, but I think it was her own teammate who got in the way. Laura Rafferty was the closest Northern Ireland player. You can see Zeller actually trying to turn on it as well. Rafferty was taking no chances.
Took a nick off Demi Vance, I think, maybe on the way through, or Rafferty, yeah. No, they've reverted back to the in on top of the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Everyone except Maxwell and Green is in their own penalty area, which means that McCarran is very little to force the ball forward to. In the end, she's forced to backtrack and concede the corner kick herself, and I suppose that's a difficulty when you've nothing to head up the pitch.
Yeah,
like
good
Chloe
header.
McCarran has here.
Yeah, good header away from Rafferty, and then, as you say, struggling to get the second phase away.
Nemeth squeezes across to Cesar. It's a good ball in, decent header. Turner collected at the second attempt. I think there's a little foul in there too, as Zeller was trying to get on the ball, but
Surprised they opted to cross there. Cesar was on the edge of the box and quite a bit of space. Thought she maybe would have got her head up and got a shot off.
they've been trigger happy so far this evening. Just bounces over McGill's head. Cesar plays it back to Nemeth.
Good pressure from Caldwell there to force them back.
You can see why Cesar plays for Inter Milan and has 112 caps.
Yeah, she's definitely dictates the play, and on Friday evening it was the same. Everything went through her. She controls the tempo of the game.
And doesn't do anything, too out of the world. It's all very basic stuff, but it tends to be, if she plays well, Hungary play well.
Yeah, she's one of those players that every team needs. As I say, she dictates the tempo and everything goes through her, and definitely an excellent player.
Vida. Back to Zeller. Cesar. To Kovac. Fireworks going off all over the city on Halloween night, of course. We've yet to see any here at Seaview. Vida. To Cesar. Really patient build up from the visitors. Zeller's right in the edge of the box, and then it's played in the area where there only are two Northern Ireland players, and this is where the counter-attack could be on. Vance has made a really good run on this near side. It's 4 against 4. McGill's in the middle, so too is Bell. Maxwell is lurking at the back post. And they'll have to make do with a corner kick, but when Northern Ireland have looked good, it has been in that counter-attacking situation, Julie.
Yeah, that's where we're strong at the moment. We have good numbers going forward, and we're good in the transition to get bodies up the pitch.
It just relieves that pressure, having soaked so much up. But one thing that they will have to be wary of is that from their last corner kick, Hungary created their best opportunity. Bounces about, could fall for Wade. Instead it was McFadden, I think, who took the goalwards. There were two Northern Ireland players that opened up all of a sudden, but couldn't hit the target. It's a big chance when you see it back here.
Yeah, it looked very close from Sarah McFadden there. It's her old striking instincts coming back to her there.
A swivel onto the left foot, and I just suppose was Lauren Wade better positioned here, but I suppose McFadden didn't get the call, and it's certainly the best opportunity that the home side have created so far.
Yeah, it was hard to see whether the Hungary player was going to get there by the time Lauren Wade got there, so McFadden probably was right to get the strike off.
The third member of the 100 Club I mentioned on Thursday night, alongside Julie and Ashley Hutton.
Yeah, fantastic to see Sarah join the 100 Club. You know,
it's a very exclusive band.
At the moment it is, yeah. I think there'll be a few more added into it over the next couple of years, but you know, the three of us have played together since we were 17 years old, so through the under 19 squad into the senior squad, and delighted to see Sarah join that club as well.
Everyone's still got a little bit to get to you though.
So far, yeah.
130 caps. And you hope there are going to be more, Julie?
Yeah, that's the hope, Thomas. You know, I am doing everything within my power to keep myself available. I've had a difficult year injury-wise, but was thankful to get back on the pitch and for the second half of the season with Crusaders. And you know, we had a pretty successful second half of the season. We won 8 out of 9 games, and it was fantastic to be back on the pitch after a very difficult year.
Is it very odd being in this situation on a night when Northern Ireland are playing?
Yeah, it's definitely not one that I'm overly familiar with up here watching the team, but yeah, it's not something that's within my control at the moment, and you know, delighted to be here as part of the commentary team.
Well, the rain is coming down once again here at Saveview. Northern Ireland have had it far from their own way in the opening 35 minutes, but it is still scoreless. A couple of decent opportunities to create. The best one was a moment ago from the player currently in possession, Sarah McFadden, but the bulk of the chances have certainly fallen to Hungary. Shannon Turner pulling off a really good save to deny Papai in a one-on-one situation. That was a most clear-cut chance, and I suppose Kratz, the Hungarian manager, will feel that her side should be ahead. Into the final 10 minutes of this first half. Vida loses out the weight, and this is when Northern Ireland have looked good. Clipped over the top, looking for McGill, who's in support. McGill goes herself, and that's going to be a throw-in this near side. Likes of Maxwell and Wade flooding forward.
Yeah, again, that transition from defence to attacks proven a positive for Northern Ireland.
Hamilton. McFadden took a chance, just about got away with it.
Yeah, again, I feel we need some more width whenever we're playing out there. Sarah probably looked and thought she didn't have too many options, and then, you know, went through the middle of the pitch. But I think there was loads of space in the wide areas that we could have exploited.
McFadden. Northern Ireland trying to hold on to the ball for a little bit. Nicely worked on the far side. Good link-up play between Bell and Maxwell. Really good ball to find McGill. Will she get there? She will, but the flag was up. It was smothered in the end by Socks, but those are the little glimpses. I mentioned it earlier, those little triangles coming off, that was the best work move of the match from a Northern Ireland point of view anyway.
Yeah, Simone McGill was trying her hardest to hold the line there, but just that half second of difference between the pass being played, and she had just edged herself offside.
Socks quickly off her line also. No VAR, of course, here. Would have been interesting to see if she was offside. Doesn't matter anyway, given the save. Two Northern Ireland players getting in each other's way, and it's broken nicely for McCarron. Caldwell. McGill can't get it under control. Now all of a sudden it's Northern Ireland pressing higher up. Hungary work it well out and find Fanny Vesey. Vida is in acres of space in this near side, but isn't spotted. Wait. Missed by Rafferty, but recovered well. Hungary felt there was a handball in there, and glanced across at the assistant at this near side. He shook her head.
Yeah, it looked like potentially might have hit a hand there, but glad to see the referee playing on.
Kovac into the final 5 minutes of this first half. Zeller. Runs out of play. Again, Rafferty used her body well. Little nudge in the back from Papai.
Yeah, good defending from Laura Rafferty, just to let that one run out of play and use her body, as you say.
Caldwell wins it well in the air, picked up by Zeller, and then it's Wade who wins it back. Vance is forced to go to a goalkeeper Turner. Northern Ireland have grown as this half has gone on. Maxwell loses out. Papai.
Yeah, it's good to see Northern Ireland using the width there in the first phase of the build-up, but then we've come back inside and the pressure and given the ball away again.
And that's happened a couple of times. It's a risky way to play.
Yeah, I'm not sure obviously what the instructions are from Tanya, but it seems to have happened a couple of times, as you say, Thomas, in this half, and something they're probably going to look to prevent in the second half.
And how much of that perhaps is down to the positioning of Cesar, because herself and Fanny Vesey almost sit in front of that back four and just restrict the outlet ball on so many occasions as Simone McGill tries to link up with Wade in the near side.
Yeah, in possession, the fullbacks of Hungary both push high, and Cesar sits there with a 3, as a pivot to play through, but also out of possession as well then to recover the ball.
A yellow card shown. I'm just trying to figure out who it was for. It looked to be...
I think it's for Nemeth.
It looked to be Nemeth on the far side, but I'm not quite sure what exactly it was for, unless it was something that was said. There didn't appear to be anything controversial. But Nemeth, who of course scored the winner on Friday, the Werder Bremen defender, has gone into the referee's notebook.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
You would assume it was for something that was said at some point. A little bit of dissent. There didn't appear to be anything obvious on the pitch. McFadden just waits for the ball to drift over the end line.
Yeah, smart play from Sarah there to usher that one out of play.
Yes, the yellow card has been given to Hannah Nemeth. A few of the fans are starting to make their way towards the chip van, trying to beat the queue. They feel that there isn't going to be anything significant in the last couple of minutes of this first half. As Kovac has it back. Nemeth, the player who was just booked. Is Zabo going to be able to keep that ball in play? McFadden tracked her every single step of the way, and it is going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, I think you can see the factor that the wind's playing in the game at the moment. That some of those through balls are just sort of have too much on them with the wind, and are going out of play. And I think that's something Northern Ireland will have to be wary of in the second half whenever they're attacking.
Oh, it's for that challenge on Bell. apologies, it was picked up by our director. It was for the late challenge on Bell, with which led to the chance for Simone McGill. Now there's a Hungarian player down. It is the captain, Cesar. Nadine Caldwell has been captain for the last 2 games, on Friday night and also this evening. Cesar's back on her feet, and it looks like play is going to continue. There's the incident just before. I think she perhaps collided accidentally with the leg of Danielle Maxwell. Final few seconds of this first half. McFadden backtracking. Times the challenge perfectly.
Yeah, those longer goal kicks out of hand that the goalkeeper are playing seem to be causing a few problems, again with the conditions tonight.
Foul throw, I think. Yep. Aren't given too often, but the referee has decided there was an infringement there. Has a little glance at her watch. I don't think there's been a board shown, and decides there's no need for any injury time at the end of the first half. So it is scoreless at the break here at Seaview. Hungary had a couple of very good chances, the best one falling to pot by Tanya Oxley and her players. Weathered the storm, created a couple of good opportunities of their own. Sarah McFadden going closest as Cesar speaks with the Hungarian players. They're making their way off the pitch. Tanya Oxley gets her half-time team talk ready. The half-time score here at Seaview in this Women's Nations League game. It is Northern Ireland 0, Hungary 0. We'll be back with the second half very soon.
When you step out onto the field or find your place on the grid, what's in front of you is opportunity.
Here we go then, watching the lights.
Your chance to change the story.
Here we go! What a goal! Oh, wonderful stuff. And that was an absolute gem. To the goal, brilliant finish. And it's in, surely! Yes! What a day in Tunis.
Unrivaled coverage of your favourite sports.
Just doesn't get any better.
From BBC Sport Northern Ireland.
Welcome back to Seaview. One change at half-time for the visitors. Off comes Fenny Vesey, one of the sitting midfielders, replaced by Pap for the second 45. It looks as if Northern Ireland are sticking with the same 11. The music is off, thankfully, and we can hear ourselves think once again. The substitution happened a moment ago, just off camera. And Hungary are preparing to kick off in this second half. Julian Nelson, Northern Ireland's record cap holder, alongside me. Look, I suppose the question you always ask now is, what do you think was said in both dressing rooms?
Yeah, I think both teams will probably want to kick on a bit from their performance in the first half. Northern Ireland are playing with the win now, so it'll be interesting to see what effect that has and how high they're able to push up the pitch, because at times in the first half they were a little bit deep.
But it's interesting. It's difficult always to tell from a competitive position, but it seems as if the wind's calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Those flags seem to be flying still quite a bit in the wind, so I think it's probably a bit worse on the pitch.
Well, you know this ground better than anybody, so I think I'll take your word for it as the ball's played forward, looking for Caldwell.
Yeah, I've played here once or twice.
Julie's club, of course, Crusaders. Here in North Belfast, there is Tanya Oxby, fourth game in charge for her. Resisted the temptation to make any switches at half-time. Rebecca Holloway ruled out of this game through suspension. 5 changes made overall. Rafferty's come in, Hamilton's come in, McCarran, Bell, and also Simone McGill is McFadden is caught in a difficult position at the back, and I think they clattered her head in the process. It was Kajar trying to get in between the two defenders, and the whistle sounded in favour of the Northern Ireland player.
Yeah, smart play from McFadden there to get her body in the way between the ball and the opposition player.
Northern Ireland trying to work it out from the back, and it was a little bit risky again. Megan Bell didn't feel there was much in that challenge. It was right in front of the referee, and it has given Hungary a free kick. It's a long way out, particularly against the wind. So I don't think they'll be tempted. It's actually further out even than I thought, so they definitely will be tempted to have a go.
Yeah, that's a few times Northern Ireland have tried to play out already in the second half, so it seems that's maybe the message that's been given at half-time for them to get on the ball and to start to try and build some play.
When it works, but when it doesn't, it can put the defence under real pressure. Pap, the substitute, one of the two players standing over the ball. There are actually 2 Hungarians in the Northern Ireland wall, so I wonder, is Pap going to have a go here? There are 2 Hungarian players in her way, and one of them is struck by her own player, Kajar. So I think Kajan was having a go on goal. It did look a little bit intricate. It was a long way out, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, I think that caught her on the ear there. It looked like a bit of a sore one. I'm not sure they got the timing of that set piece right, because I think the free kick was given because the Hungarian player ended up within the distance of the Northern Ireland wall. They were too close.
It was about 40 yards out, Julie.
Yeah, it's ambitious to say the least. But
remember, Demi Vance scored a goal from. It wasn't even as far out as that, and it did have the breeze behind her, but certainly the full effect felt by Popeye. Kajan, the player who had to go with her left foot. I suppose the important thing from a Northern Ireland point of view is it came to nothing. Little nudge in the back of Caldwell. A very obvious push from the substitute Pap. And it gives Northern Ireland a free kick in a very central position.
Again, interesting there to see Chloe McCarran dropping beyond the back line with Demi Vance to try and get on the ball. Shannon turning up and to go a little bit longer, but it's a different tactic to see one of the midfielders dropping beyond the defenders to receive.
Ball taken towards this near side, and Maxwell floated on top of the goalkeeper, who took it well.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Hungary opted to leave Maxwell in so much space in that wide area.
It's going to be another free kick. The game has resumed in the group in Albania, and in the 88th minute, the Republic of Ireland have scored a goal. Denise O'Sullivan with the effort. There was a long delay there. There were reports actually that the match had been suspended, but because of heavy rain in the pitch was deemed unplayable and unsafe in Albania, but the game is back underway, and it looks as if the Republic of Ireland are going to get another 3 points with that Denise O'Sullivan goal. That would take them well clear at the top of the group.
Yeah, I think that would make them win the group from memory.
Certainly, if the result says the same here, that would be the case. So the Republic of Ireland will be on 12. As things stand, Hungary would be on 5, Northern Ireland on 4, and Albania on 1. Still scoreless here in Belfast. Cleared by McFadden. Yeah, so that game was suspended for well over an hour in Albania, but it looks as if Denise O'Sullivan has scored the winner that all but secures the Republic of Ireland's progression into the top tier of the Nations League. What happens after that is the big question now. Northern Ireland, of course, face the Republic of Ireland in Belfast on the 5th of December. Before that, they have a tough away trip to Albania. Hungary face the Republic of Ireland first, and then welcome Albania in their final game. Still all to play for. Potential of playoffs in the new year, whether they be for promotion or relegation, and implications for qualification for the 2025 European Championships in terms of the draw which takes place in the new year. Cesar just about manages to keep it in play. Or has she? Initially the corner kick was given, but then
yeah, I think
the official on the far side decided it had drifted out of play.
I'm not sure it had, but we'll take that for Northern Ireland.
I think you've never been in that situation where you play the first half, you wait an hour and a half and then play the second half?
No, definitely something that's never happened. I don't think that would be too good for the joints.
That game still hasn't reached the conclusion despite kicking off well before this one.
Remember that happening to the Scotland men in the last international window with the amount of rain that they had at Hampden Park, but I think the game had only maybe started 10 or 15 minutes at that point.
Yeah, I think especially with international football, there are different rules in regard to when you play the match effectively, because you've got such tight windows as it is. If a match is called off, you've got 24 hours to try and replay it at that venue or another one, and I suppose they tried to do absolutely everything to get the pitch in Albania ready for the the conclusion of that game. So there you go. You learn something new every day. Here's Nemeth. How Northern Ireland would dearly love to secure all 3 points here. It would put them in a good, strong position in the group going into those last 3 fixtures. It would also leave things in their own destiny. One Nemeth to another. Fizzed into Kajan. Jabo, who's been a little bit quieter than she was on Friday night. And Rafferty nods it clear. It hasn't really come to life in the second half, has it, Julie?
No, not yet. Both teams still seem to be trying to figure each other out again in the second half, probably just with the change of halves. And as I've said earlier about the conditions in the wind, you can see some of those longer passes now that Hungary are playing are holding up and working to their advantage.
Zeller played in towards that dangerous area around the 6-yard box. It's evaded absolutely everyone though, and Hungary have the lead. We mentioned in the first half how congested it was in and around the goalkeeper. Somehow it stayed away from all of the people in that area and ended up in the far corner. It's a goal that will really frustrate Northern Ireland, but Zeller, who now has 30 international goals, is certainly celebrating. You can see is a Popeye right in front of Shannon Turner, I think, got in her way.
Yeah, it's hard to see there whether it took a nick off anybody or it's gone straight through.
It's a nightmare goal for Northern Ireland to concede just before the hour mark. Can they battle back like they did in the away fixture? Really scrappy, lovely play over on the far side though by Vance. And Weir then wins a corner kick, and it's a good reaction. It's a really scrappy goal to concede. When you see the amount of people in and around that area.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed to concede a goal like that, especially so soon after half time.
And having worked on set pieces, conceded 3 goals to the Republic of Ireland in situations like that. It's something that they've certainly worked on. Vance plays it in, McFadden battling for it. Fisted away, but not that far. Maxwell looks to recycle. McCarran plays it in again. Eventually makes his way across to Lauren Wade.
I think it's a factor for both teams. Their attack and set pieces have both been pretty strong and are causing a threat. Even on the game on Friday night, obviously the winning goal came from a set play, but also the penalty that Northern Ireland won came from a corner as well. So it just shows that both teams are a threat in terms of the set pieces, and they'll be looking not to give any away.
They've been trying to exploit that near post area all evening. It's been the area they've tried to play into as Marissa Callahan prepares to come on. It's for Megan Bell.
Northern Ireland substitution. Number 8, Marissa Callahan, replacing number 18, Megan Bell.
85th cap for Marissa Callahan.
Yeah, pleasing to see Marissa back on the pitch after what's been a difficult week for her and her family.
Didn't make the trip to Hungary. Back involved this evening. Vance plays it in. Nobody there in a green shirt. As a defender, what do you want to see happen in a situation like that when that corner comes in? Because there are so many people there and everyone's obviously tracking their own player, but when Tanya Oxtoby looks back at that, when the players look back at that, it's a goal that easily could have been avoided.
Yeah, and you usually have somebody in that front zone area, you know, to come and head it. But it looked like, I think it went over whichever player it was in there, and you know, it's kind of fallen in that awkward position that it's between that player and the goalkeeper, and nobody's come to take responsibility for the second phase.
Zambo wins another corner kick from the same side that the goal came from. Next goal in this match is absolutely huge. You can see Roy Carroll screaming for someone to get in front, and that near post is flicked on this time by Cesar, but that is a real area of concern.
Yeah, you can hear Roy demanding. I think he's asking Simone to step in front of the player there. You know, some managers had different ways of dealing with those types of corners. When I played in Glasgow City, our manager actually asked us to stand the opposite side and sort of push their players in towards our own goal. So, you know, it's interesting just to see the different tactics that people use in trying to deal with those corners, because they are corners that are quite well used in women's football.
You don't get a lot of time in international windows to try and work with your players, and obviously working on set pieces defensively and offensively take up the bulk of the time, and you can see why when you see the amount of goals that come from them, particularly in international football, men's and women's.
Yeah, and it's an area that we've been very strong in with Northern Ireland over the last few years with Kenny Shields. It was an area that we were good at exploiting, and even previously before that with Alfie Wiley too.
Maxwell can't get onto that one. We played now. Northern Ireland are 1-0 down. We made the one change so far with Marissa Callahan coming on. You have to say, in the balance of chances, Hungary do deserve to be ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure, bar the one that Simone was offside, I don't think their goalkeeper's really made a save as yet. She's had the ball, you know, comfortably on a few occasions, but I don't think she's actually had to make a save, and Shannon Turner's had to make a few in the first half.
McGill used her body really well. Maxwell. Callahan's in the middle, can she find her? Just behind Callahan and too far forward for Wade, but it was a really good opening and lovely link-up play between the duo of McGill and Maxwell. The attack still evolving though. Numbers in the middle. That'll be a real confidence boost for the home side.
Yeah, again, great hold-up play by Simone McGill, and good movement off the ball from Danielle Maxwell to get in behind, and just unfortunately the cross just happened to fall between two of our players.
There it is from Maxwell. Tries to cut it back. You can see Marissa Callahan just on the edge of her shot. She's made her way back into the 6-yard box again. Can't get in the end of that one. Marissa Callahan back with a skipper's armband on, given to her by Nadine Caldwell. Good footwork from Zeller. You can see Callahan now almost shadowing Cesar, trying to curb her influence.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Northern Ireland have pushed higher up the pitch, kind of from half time, so I think that's a message that's been given to them. That, you know, the front three are pushing higher and the back four are up towards the halfway line.
Home side need to be brave now. Still a long way to go. No need to panic yet. Here is Wade. But when you look at the group overall, this was certainly the game that stood out from Northern Ireland's point of view. We know how good the home record is, and anything out in Hungary would have been a real bonus. There is a playoff for the side that finishes second in the group, and there's a relegation playoff for the side that finishes third. So Northern Ireland will be keen to avoid that situation.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the aim, I'd imagine, from the start of the group was to at least maintain the position within the B League. And yeah, as you say, you know, if you end up in a relegation playoff, who knows who you'll draw or what will happen there. So it's something Northern Ireland will be looking to avoid. And
is that the level you feel Northern Ireland are realistically at when you look at some of the sides in the top tier sides that don't just want to qualify for major tournaments, want to go on and win them?
Yeah, I think you can see from the A-League, you know, the calibre of teams that are playing in the A-League at the moment. You know, they're that kind of top tier of European football, and you know, it's yes, obviously Northern Ireland would love to aim to be getting into the A-League, but I think the B-League's a realistic position for us to be in at this point in time.
Simone McGill still full of running. So confirmation the Republic of Ireland have won that game out in Albania. There was a significant delay in between the first half and second half because of weather, but they top the group on 12 points. It all but secures they will finish there. Hungary on 7 points at the minute, so if Hungary will win their two remaining fixtures and things to the same here, they could go above the Republic of Ireland, but Northern Ireland will hope to have a significant say in that. Rafferty can't quite get there. McCarron comes across, wins it back, and now it's Nadine Caldwell. Really good footwork. One back by Wade. As you say, Julie, Northern Ireland so much further up the pitch. Here's McFadden. Gets it back from McGill. Maxwell wins the throw-in. A little bit more intent from the home side. McGill's been a lot more involved. Kaijan.
Yeah, I think on that occasion you can see that Hungary may now be a threat on the counter-attack when they win the ball back, as was the case with Northern Ireland in the first half, but good defending and good positioning from Sarah McFadden to deal with that.
But I suppose if you're 1-0 down, then the chances you have, the risk you have to maybe take.
Absolutely.
Referee having a little word with Kaijan for using her arms a little bit too much, trying to provide an outlet for that throw-in. Here's Zeller, good build-up play, and Pap, the substitute, struggled well enough, but it was always drifting wide. I feel this is a key part of the game right now, as Northern Ireland battle to try and get back in level terms.
Yeah, the positive thing from Northern Ireland's point of view is there's plenty of time left, but there's also good strength and different options on the bench, you know, that Tanya may look to use.
Firework goes off over the stand in the far side.
Yeah, we're being treated to a bit of a fireworks display up here, Thomas.
It's a lovely view, it has to be said, as Maxwell wins it. Doesn't quite make its way through to Simone McGill, but Maxwell, who's acquitted herself very well once more, wins it back. Now it's Cara Hamilton who forces it forward. Ball still not out of play. Good pressure again from the home side. McCarron. Popeye wrestling with Rafferty. Zeller tries to take on Vanson. That was really good defending from Vance, who then just points to Cara Hamilton to say where she wants her to run.
Yeah, good play from Demi Vance there in the first instance to deal with that, and then again looking to play out and not just kick the ball up the pitch. Just need to be a bit quicker on the second phase to react.
The ball's almost lodged in that area. The pitch has gone down to walking pace. A little bit of wrestling, and the free kick is given afterwards. I think Marissa Callahan saying that it was 6-1 in that situation, that the Hungarian player was using her arms as well. It was Callahan who was then penalised for it. Right beside the corner flag.
Again, you can hear Roy Carroll demanding, and shouting instructions onto the pitch there.
Yes, Demi Vance stationed at that near post now. Cesar, the captain, has taken up that position for the majority of set pieces. Again, it's towards that area. Again, it evades everyone. Something Hungary have clearly worked on.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's something that they've kind of, something they think they can target with Northern Ireland. And, they're looking to get that ball in between the goalkeeper and the defence.
Rebecca McKenna is coming on for Lauren Wade. So you'd assume that Cara Hamilton's going to push further up the pitch.
Yeah, I think she's done that already.
Off comes Wade. It's been a frustrating night for Lauren Wade. Couple of changes as well for the visitors. Sule, who scored that brilliant long range effort to make it 2-1 Hungary on Friday night, replaces Kajan, who I think picked up a little bit of a knock, and Pushtai as well. Another one of the substitutes on Friday is going to be introduced again, so it's going to be a new look front two. With Pushkai and Sule
substitution
replacing Papai and Kaja.
Replacing number 14, Lauren Wade. Hungary substitution, number 10, Dora Sule, replacing number 7.
We mentioned it earlier, it's probably the position that Cara Hamilton's more familiar with.
And number 4,
yeah, I think that's something that she'll probably be slightly more comfortable with now, and hopefully it's an outlet that we can use in our attack.
A little drag back from Maxwell, who again has switched wings. 20 minutes to go here. More defending to do though for Northern Ireland. Cesar. Off the head of Nemeth. Vance went for it, so too did Nemeth. Drifts out of play for another goal kick, and Northern Ireland need to get the ball up the other end of the pitch. He made that one substitution so far.
Again, there, one side of the defence is looking to play out, and the other one's pushing higher up the pitch. I think we need to get onto the same wavelength and decide whether everybody's going to play out or whether we're pushing higher up the pitch.
Sule, her first involvement. Callahan, referee. Let's play continue, and there's the pace of Maxwell. Can she find a teammate? Decided to go herself, and well, it was a sign of a player playing with real confidence.
Yeah, definitely, and that's her stronger foot, cutting in on the right, and didn't look to be that far away.
Takes on the defender, and well, he's never really going to trouble the goalkeeper, but it's a sign of what she can bring in the far side, Danielle Maxwell. Still only 21 years old. Youngest player actually in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I remember Danielle coming through the Antrim Excellence programme back a few years ago. She was one of the players that actually came into the programme late, and you can see her potential as soon as she came in, and she's gone from strength to strength over the last couple of seasons.
And it's had to be patient at international level.
Yeah, she's been patient. Obviously had an injury and missed out on the Euros last year, and but didn't let that kind of dampen her spirits or her confidence. And I know she's worked hard off the pitch as well in terms of her strength and conditioning work, and that's shown in the performances that she's given tonight and throughout the season for Cliftonville.
Lovely bit of art there from our camera operators. The fireworks going on over the North Belfast sky. McCarran loses out in the challenge. Sabo. Hungary under no real pressure, happy enough just to hold on to the ball. They have the 1-0 advantage, but will be aware that they led for much of the game on Friday, only to be pegged back twice. Caldwell. Here is Nemeth. Sule can't get there ahead of Rafferty, who backtrack well. There's a real chill to the air now in North Belfast. Temperatures have plummeted a little bit in the last quarter of an hour or so after all that rain and wind early on. Northern Ireland haven't really been able to make the most of those conditions. McKenna, one of the substitutes, plays it back to McFadden. Now it's Rafferty.
Good play from McKenna there to get the ball down and go back through Sarah McFadden and get a switch of play in.
You see the pressure being put on by Hungary, though, and it's enabled Vance to find a way through, and she almost picked out McGill. All Northern Ireland need is for that combination to click once. McGill has been very close on a couple of occasions to getting in. Denied by the offside flag once, and well, Vance saw the gap and almost found McGill.
You can see Hungary are now already starting to take their time over things, and as you would do with a 1-0 lead away from home.
Yeah, it's a huge difference between a draw and a defeat here for Northern Ireland. Looking ahead to those two games next month against the Republic of Ireland and Albania. Playoffs taking place in the first quarter of 2024. Two-legged playoffs to go up and go down. That's what awaits the second and third place side in the group. And as the Republic of Ireland found out today, Albania, a very difficult place to go. Hungary drew there, of course, in their opening fixture in the tournament.
Yeah, and I'd guess in a month's time it'll be a cold place to go to.
Well, that is what awaits Northern Ireland before the visit of the Republic of Ireland. Mentioned earlier, as things stand, the Republic on 12 points, Hungary on 7, and Northern Ireland on 3. Tanya Oxtoby side have just over 10 minutes to change that. They left it late in Hungary with those Two late strikes, one of them from the player on the ball right now from the penalty spot. And there is one, and it is. Maxwell had a goal moment earlier and was just wide, but that's an emphatic finish from the Cliftonville player. It's exactly, Julie, what you wanted to see from her.
Yeah, as you say, the one that she had maybe a couple of minutes ago just went a bit wide, but she's found her range with that one, and great layoff from Simone McGill, and excellent strike by Danielle Maxwell.
Could it set up a grand finale? Goalkeeper was scurrying across, but was powerless to stop Maxwell's magic. It is game on. It's the first real time that Sox has been called into action in the opening 79 minutes, and again it was to pick the ball out of her own net.
Yeah, I think the pace on the strike was just too much for her. She got a hand to it, but it was past her before she could have too much impact on it.
Northern Ireland conceded twice quickly after getting level in Geor. They need to be careful not to do the same here. How much confidence will that give the home side now?
Yeah, it's it'd be good for them to be level in the game, and with only 10 minutes left, I'm sure they'll be the ones looking to go and score the next goal.
Danielle Maxwell, a player who wasn't even in the squad when it was first announced, has certainly taken her opportunity.
Yeah, it shows how quickly things can change in football. She probably wouldn't have imagined starting both games whenever she got called in, late on into the camp, and just shows how well or how good her attitude is in terms of how she's applied herself in training and with her performance on Friday and again this evening.
McGill just to have handled the ball. So now, as things stand, it would be Hungary in second on 5 points, Northern Ireland on 4 points. So very much all to play for that second spot and potential promotion. Hamilton. Across to McFadden. Nicely worked by McCarran, back to Rafferty. And all of a sudden it's Hungary who are struggling to get onto the ball.
Yeah, good to see Northern Ireland playing some passes and keeping possession and through build-up. Now, as you say, the goals made them play with a bit more confidence.
Back with Turner, McKenna. Lovely turn from her. Skips away from the second challenge. And brings it across to the far side, and her fellow fullback Vance. Callahan asking a little bit too much of her.
Yeah, excellent play by Rebecca McKenna. It's a position that's been familiar with her. She started off obviously as a centre midfielder and has moved into fullback over the last few years, and at showing off her skill set there, I've been able to receive on the half turn in the middle.
Player who possesses fantastic defensive qualities but does love to get forward. McCarran. Her influence in this game is increasing. Just over 6 minutes remaining. Cesar squeezed out of it by 2 Northern Ireland players. Little flick from Maxwell doesn't quite come off. Player, of course, who scored that equaliser moments ago. Rafferty's pulled back. Just glancing down to see if there's any more activity on the bench. Is Tanya Oxtoby considering making a switch, or is she happy with the personnel currently on the pitch? Simone McGill through the middle. Is this the winner? Oh, she had more time than she thought. Flag was down. Just snatched at it a little bit, Simone McGill.
Yeah, excellent.
I think felt she had to take it first time when she was already away from the defender.
Yeah, excellent pass by Sarah McFadden, as you say. I think she felt the defender coming off her shoulder and thought she needed to get the snapshot away.
Referee speaking with Soule, I think. Player closest to Chloe McCarran. Not sure what's going on there, but the referee is certainly keeping a keen eye on them. McFadden backtracking. Caldwell heads it on. Four and a half minutes to go. We haven't had too many stoppages. Marissa Callahan again, just ball had too much on it, particularly in the wind.
Yeah, Marissa's movement's been good since she's come on. She's looking for that third man run, as they talk about, with Simone pulling the other direction, and just with the wind, the ball's carrying it slightly faster than probably they hoped.
Julian Andrews is going to be introduced. Another one of the Glentoran players who won the double. And it's for Chloe McCarran. So Andrews sees more game time. Started Gior also here. And Albania, you can see her just communicating with her teammates as if to signify a change of formation, a little bit more attacking maybe for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
No, they're not going for this.
I think Nadine Caldwell's dropped in, and Marissa and Jolie now pushing higher up the pitch.
Marissa Callahan, McGill! Smothered by the goalkeeper, spilled as far as Hamilton, and the defender threw herself in the way. It opened up through the middle, and what a glorious opportunity for Northern Ireland. Andrews, the substitute, involved, but Sox closed the angle. Hungary holding on here a little bit.
Yeah, Jolie Andrews making an instant impact as soon as she's come on there.
Just this little touch here. Marissa Callahan found McGill, who hit it first time. Sox is an imposing figure in the goal. And then the follow-up from Hamilton, blocked by Nemeth, I think. Zeller's down on the far side. And all of the Hungarian players who made such an impact earlier in the game in the first hour have quietened down somewhat, it has to be said. Nemeth squeezes it forward. Rafferty had to be aware at the back though. with Sule right on her shoulder. We're entering the final minute. Hungary are just slowing down the pace of the game. Maxwell. Well worked across to Zeller. Good ball in also. Vade's the first attack there, and Zabo can't keep it down. And that's just a little warning that as much as Northern Ireland want to press, they need to be careful at the back. It's a tantalising ball in from Zeller.
Yeah,
Zabo's effort was always going over the top.
One of those balls the goalkeeper and defender hate between the two of them, and it's difficult to know who's going to take responsibility for it.
Andrews can't quite adjust her body to get there. Sule's made a run through the middle. Rafferty again, well positioned. Andrews, 4 minutes.
The fourth official
Are we in
indicated
for a grandstand finish from the home
minutes.
side? Can they find a winner? Having battled back from one down. We'll get there first at Zabo. Rafferty lifts it forward, asks the question. Sliced out into the stand, and certainly Nemeth felt that should have been a Hungarian throw-in. Instead, it's gone to Northern Ireland. That is a little bit clearer cut, and again McKenna comes across to take it. This time it does go to Hungary.
Yeah, Hungary seem to be the ones snatching it at the things now.
All the momentum you feel is with the home side. Andrews. Oh, that's very risky. Hungary could be in here. Nice link-up play. Zeller. McKenna does brilliantly. That is outstanding from Rebecca McKenna. Zeller got there first, but McKenna scurried back in the end. The free kick was given against Zeller.
Yeah, superb play from Rebecca McKenna there, showing how much she's improved in the last couple of years in terms of her defensive understanding, but also her body strength as well.
Substitution, number 15, Fanny Vactor, replacing number 8.
Vactor comes on
Zabo.
in place of Zabo. 90 seconds remaining. McFadden. Can she launch another attack? Cesar clears it for another throw-in. A point would leave Hungary just above Northern Ireland going into the final two games. Both of them have to face the Republic of Ireland and Albania. As things stand, the Republic of Ireland have won the group. They would be promoted after 4 wins from 4. It's a free kick for Hungary after the ball hit the arm, I think, of Julie Andrews. Don't think she knew too much about it, but it's right around the time that they scored the winner on Friday. Doesn't look like they're going to commit the same amount of players forward this time, though. Hungary would be happy with the point. It keeps them above tonight's opponents. Northern Ireland want all three. Is there time for one more opportunity? Andrews can't quite get there. Referee lets a throw in be taken. This has got to be it. Hamilton goes in chase. And that may well be the final action of this game. Referee having a quick glance at her watch. And both sides have to make do with a point. Danielle Maxwell, stunning equaliser, making it one apiece after Hungary had taken the lead. The Republic of Ireland have won the group, but it leaves Hungarians just above Northern Ireland in the table going into next month's fixtures. The home side pushed for a winner, but couldn't quite manage it. Julie, what are your overall thoughts about the game?
Yeah, I suppose Northern Ireland will be disappointed not to take the 3 points tonight. It keeps things interesting, and as you say, going into the final two games in the group. Management, I'm sure there's plenty of positives that they can take from tonight's performance, but again, conceding off a set play, it'll be something they're not happy with, and something they'll be looking to work on going into the next camp.
And it takes the destiny of the group out of Northern Ireland's hands now, with those two tough games next month, away to Albania, home to the group winners, the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, I think that'll be two very tough games. Albania doesn't seem like it's an easy place to go based on the two results that have been there for Hungary and the Republic of Ireland, and to go away there first and then to play the Republic of Ireland at home will be a massive challenge.
How important do you feel it is for Northern Ireland to stay in Group B of the Nations League?
Yeah, I think that's vital for Northern Ireland at this point, to stay in Group B, because obviously that has an effect on the seedings and the draw for the European qualifiers next year. And having played in the European finals last summer, it's something we'll be looking to be in a good position for. I know Tanya's spoken about it for 2025.
Hopefully we can look back at some of the key moments from the game now, as there's confirmation in the bottom left hand portion of your screen of the final score. Northern Ireland 1, Hungary 1 from here at Seaview. The rain is coming down. Let's look back at some of the incidents. This is the half. We're in the second half. It was a corner kick that led to the first one. This is big save early on from Shannon Turner. Papai through, denied by the Northern Ireland goalkeeper. Really strong hand there. That was the most clear-cut effort of the opening 45 minutes for both sides. And then this is the Hungarian goal. Played towards that near post area. It evaded everyone, ended up in the back of the net to give the visitors a lead, Julie.
Yeah, and as I said, they'll be disappointed to concede a goal like that. It's dropped in. I think it's gone over the head of the player in that front zone, and dropped between two players and the goalkeeper, and nobody's taking responsibility to go and win the ball. But
credit to Northern Ireland, they battled back. Simone McGill involved in the build-up play, and what a strike from Danielle Maxwell. That made it one apiece, and it's a culmination of what has been a massive week for her in the international fold.
Yeah, absolutely. Delighted to see Danielle get on the score sheet. As we've spoken about, she wasn't in the squad at the start of when the squad was announced. She wasn't a part of the squad, and to come in and to train how she's trained from what I've heard from other players, and to get two top performances and 2 starts in the team, she'll be delighted with that.
How big an opportunity is that though, to win it all?
Yeah, massive opportunity for Simone, and you know the goalkeeper's done well to come out and smother, as you say. You know she's a sort of commanding figure coming out there, and you know unfortunate that we haven't been able to take that opportunity.
But both sides had to make do with a point as it finished here 1-1. Plenty of sport coming up for you on BBC Sport Northern Ireland over the coming week. After confirmation of tonight's result here at Seaview, we've got Lauren against Cliftonville on Friday night live on the BBC iPlayer and also on the BBC Sport Northern Ireland website. Then it's Sports Sound on Saturday from 2 o'clock on BBC Sounds and BBC Radio Ulster. And after that, on Saturday evening, Ulster bidding to make it 3 wins from 3 in the URC. Face a derby against Connacht. But that's about it here from Seaview. Northern Ireland have to make do with 1 point from this double header against Hungary as it finishes at Seaview. Northern Ireland 1, Hungary 1.